bring your stuff up if you have to. Perfect. All right, guys, as normal, what we'll do here is we'll have Art Rooney, our president, say a few words about Troy. We'll pass it over to Troy for a couple comments, and then we'll open it up for questions for you guys. At the end, we will move this podium out of the way for the photo opportunities with the jersey and such. So at this point in time, Art.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We are excited to welcome Troy Fautanu and his family to Pittsburgh. Glad they were able to make it in on the red eye last night. We had some inside information on Troy this year. His teammate was Mark Bruner's son, so great to have Mark share some thoughts. And the little coincidence there is the last person we picked in the first round from Washington was Mark, and so now we're bringing Troy here from Washington. So, as you know, Troy had a great career at Washington. They went all the way to the championship game this past season, and really established himself as one of the top linemen in the country, and we were excited to make him a Steeler. So it's my honor to introduce Troy Fautanu.
How you guys doing? First and foremost, I just want to thank God, man. Without him, this opportunity wouldn't be here. So I'm truly grateful. So I just want to thank, Mr. Rooney, Omar, and Coach Tomlin for taking a chance on me, man, and believing in me. I'm just super grateful to play for an organization, as Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm sure everyone knows, I grew up wanting to play for these guys and grew up a fan, and it's truly a dream come true to be here. So, yeah.
Can you take us through the last 24 hours, what it's been like since being drafted and then coming here today and spending the day with Mike and all these guys?
Yeah, the last 24 hours has been a blur, man, to be honest. It's been hectic. It's crazy to think back just 16 hours ago, or however long it was, I got my name called in the NFL draft, and it's something that I've been working for my entire life. Everything that I've done up until this point has to try to get to this point, you know what I mean? So I'm just truly grateful, man. It's been hectic once again, but I think I'll be able to kind of soak it in, once I get back to the hotel with my family and kind of just talk about it. So yeah.
Why the love for the Steelers?
Yeah, it all started with Troy Polamalu. I was a big Troy Polamalu fan, and then kind of watching him, and then you kind of get to see what the Steelers are about, how they play football, what the brand of football is, and then I kind of just took that and put it into my own game. You know what I mean? Like what I think of when I think of the Steelers, I think of gritty. I think of working the trenches, like just stuff that you don't see. But I take personal because it's part of my it's part of my job. So it's an awesome organization. I'm just so happy to be a part of it.
Troy,
Real
Mike
quick,
Tomlin
the
said
microphone,
yesterday.
the microphone for the audio. Alec, can you put the microphone back in? Good.
What should you do second, Alec?
Good.
No,
That's okay.
this isn't it.
Nothing. Okay, we'll just move on then. Go ahead.
How did you, you just mentioned that Troy Polamalu was kind of the origin of you becoming a Steelers fan. Mike Tomlin said last night he thought maybe your dad had something to do with you becoming a Steelers fan. What are kind of some of your earliest memories? Is that how you were influenced?
Yeah, I'm gonna just clear some things up. My dad wasn't a Steelers fan. I'm not gonna talk about the team that he's a fan of, but it was me that kind of just grew the love. I had an uncle and aunt that were Steelers fans, and we lived with them for a year when we moved to Vegas, and then I'm like, oh, these guys are cool. You know what I mean? They're playing the sport that I was, and then I've always gone against the grain because I'm a West Coast kid. We're from the West Coast, and my dad's was like, oh, why do you like the Pittsburgh Steelers? They're on the other side of the country, but you know what I mean? It just happened, and everything played out the way it was supposed to. So.
Why do you think this organization and this team captivated you at such a young age? You talked about how it became personal for you to a certain point.
I mean, once again, like, just the grit that the team plays with. Like, I grew up a really big fan of Ben Roethlisberger, and that's what I always seen him to do. You know what I mean? He's out there commanding the team and commanding that offense, and I always thought he was one of the toughest guys I've ever seen play. Like, he'd get hit and get right back up. You know, that inspired me to play the way that I do. So, yeah, hats off, man. Coach Tomlin's done a really great job. You know what I mean? And I'm just so happy to be under him and learn from him. So.
Troy, some prospects might, delete those old tweets when they come into the draft if they were talking about a team or the league. Are you glad that you left those up and everybody can kind of see how long you've been invested in this franchise even before you got here?
So I thought I only left up one, so I strategically left that one just in case this happened. So I had my whole, agency and marketing team send me some tweets that, were a little questionable. So, but that one I decided to leave up, because why not, and see where we are right now, so.
How many tweets did you have to delete?
I don't remember. There was a couple, but that's crazy.
What's your earliest memory of the Steelers? Do you remember the Super Bowls at all, watching them?
Yeah, my earliest memory was in 2007, I believe. It was the Steelers, and then we were playing the Patriots. I don't remember why I remember that game, but I think it was the first football game, NFL game that I've ever watched. And I don't remember what the score was. I was 7 years old, so I really can't recall anything that happened. But for some reason, that's so vivid to me.
Troy, when you were drafted, you hugged a couple women first, probably grandparents and mother. Can you tell us who they were and kind of what they mean in terms of your journey to get to this point?
Yeah, so the people that I had, sitting next to me were the people that I thought were most important in my life, and starting with my grandmothers, because fortunate enough, I still have those two strong women in my life, and it's my mom's mom, my dad's mom. The first woman that I hugged was my mom's mom. The second woman I hugged was my dad's mom. Then I went over to my parents, because my parents, without them, without their sacrifice, I wouldn't be here. And then on, I went and hugged my sister and my girlfriend. So I just, those people, being able to share that moment with them, because they've done so much to get me to this point, and hats off to them for believing in me from a young age. And I'm just happy to be able to be in a position to help them and, repay that, so.
Have you talked to any of your new teammates, and have you thought